We checked a few fan-made visual updates, some fan-made reworks, and some fan-made skins. Now let's take a look at a few fan-made champions. Those are not that many since they're quite complex, from making their lores, their concepts, their models, and even abilities with previews. There's a lot of work involved into trying to create your own champion, so there aren't that many there, and we'll just take a look at 5 this time. And speaking of creating your own ideas, this video is sponsored by Yahaha. Yahaha is a new platform that helps you create your own 3D multiplayer games or interactive experiences. It's easy to use, anyone can create and publish their creations without coding and server knowledge. There's a huge library that you can use components and smart assets from. It has a built-in asset library with millions of ready-to-use assets, so if you have a cool idea, it's easy to make it real. All assets are stored in the cloud drive, so they will be real-time streamed to the local client when users need them. And once ready, you can just one-click publish to the cross-platform player app, where players can discover and play the game you made. Click the link in the description to join Yahaha's early access now. There are monthly challenges as well, where the winners win cash prizes. Here is the winner for May, so download it now for free if you have a cool idea and you want to make it or just want to play other people's ideas. And now let's get into the video. First up, Batu by Cory Shillingform, a wind spirit master, the master of the tiger spirit Koshin. Koshin can transform into different weapons and armor to suit the needs of the wielder, a bit of a tiger moon knight. Lots of concept arts as well, and different versions and animations for the abilities, although no detailed explanations for the abilities, but we can make a guess of what they are. Probably an AoE ability, a dash with the wind similar to Yone's ult, a shield, and the ultimate makes the tiger big and mount up, maybe providing a new set of abilities, or a lot of movement speed, or tiger basic abilities that replace the default attacks. Next, Elma, the Wandering Witch by Leon Ropter. The idea was to bring a grandma type character to the game. There even is a lore written, and a lot of early concept arts and exploration for her look, including a journal page and the gameplay explanation part and her full abilities. Interesting design, allowing her to use her staff as a ward. She moves faster when going towards the staff, she recalls it or move toward the cauldron that she can play, and add 4 different herbs by clicking on it, each giving a unique effect to her E and R as well as nearby units. One would heal, one would speed allies and slow enemies, one would contaminate enemies, and one would damage nearby enemies. Her E would use her cape to blow the cauldron smoke in a direction, amplifying the selected effect, and her ultimate would jump into the air, and while in midair she can throw the cauldron, slowing enemies and applying and amplifying the selected effect to the area. Really interesting design both for the character and the abilities for this one. Third one is Brenvar, the Chained Glacier, made by Albert Bednarski, a warrior in the Winter's Claw from Freljord, using a Chained Glacier as his weapon. For this one, the abilities are even animated, so you can tell the concept really well. His Q would throw his glacier at the target direction, breaking champion terrain if it's animated in the way, and knocking up enemies in the path. The glacier would stay connected to him with a chain on the final position until recast, and while the glacier is far from him, he attacks with bare hands, not with the glacier, so replaces his auto attacks. And upon recasting, he pulls the glacier back to him, and enemies hit by it while pulled also get pulled and suppressed. W would be a shield, and a passive that he deals bonus damage while shielded and attacking barehanded. E would leap forward and smash the glacier in front of him, dealing magic damage around it. Enemies hit by the glacier are also stunned, or when the glacier is out of his range. His E would whip the chain instead, releasing a fast wave within the chain towards the glacier, and enemies hit by this wave are damaged and rooted, and his ultimate would summon a huge snowstorm around the glacier that damages and slows enemies by 40% inside. And if he enters, he also gains a shield. And his passive, aura effects are applied to the glacier instead of him, so things like Frozen Heart would be applied around the glacier and not around his model, and the glacier cripples nearby enemies, and Frozen Heart would double this effect. Very cool idea, I like the design of his abilities going around the ice chained glacier. Next up, by the same person, we have Raska, the Spiral Narrator, a blind support Yordle, once a joyful traveler, turned bitter by the void. I really like the Nuzotian weapon he is using and his overall design. And again we have the abilities. Passive would give him more vision range based on his level, and for each nearby observed attack he gains observation stacks, each mark giving him deeping that can be consumed for spells to deal extra true damage. His Q would place a spiral manifest that can be charged up and thrown, dealing damage and stunning. For W, his basic attacks and abilities apply a voiding stack, and at 3 stacks, voiding is consumed to reduce armor and magic resist and reveal the target for the duration. And also while observing ally champions, he stores part of the damage they take as decaying grey health, and he can heal them using it and giving bonus movement speed. E would be a blink like flash, and the ultimate is insane, giving control to the watchers. He gets rooted, gains immunity to near sight, and gains unobstructed vision within a high range. Each visible champion in the range is observed and generates observation. Even camouflage champions are revealed, and he gets 3 charges to recast, sending a giant void sling that strikes the target area, dealing damage and slowing. Very awesome design. I like the idea of a void controlled blind Yordle support, and the ultimate would be awesome to see in game. And the last one for today, you may know this from a few years ago when people thought it's an official Riot champion. Sigil, made by a lot of people, a mage assassin that is super detailed, including even a skin, a full lore, a teaser video, gameplay explanation, an in-game model preview even with chromas, synergies, and his full abilities. Passive would not let him attack if not holding the staff, and every 5th basic attack is a killing blow dealing true damage to jungle monsters, and he can collect fireflies that give him permanent bonus magic damage to auto attacks. His Q would slash 2 times with his staff while walking, dealing magic damage, and if he just returned his staff to his hand, this also silences Sigil's target and deals more damage. And if the staff is still in the place he thrown it, this transforms into pulse. He can now release 2 pulses from the staff, going in all directions dealing AoE damage, and when his staff is returned, he can use Inner Fury again. His W is throw staff, throwing his staff to location, slowing the first enemy it hits and giving vision, hovering it in the spot it was thrown to. And when reactivating, the staff returns to Sigil, dealing magic damage to the first target it hits. His E would jump towards his staff, retrieving it and landing on the ground, dealing AoE damage, and if he hits an enemy, he gets movement speed buff, and his ultimate would make him glow, drawing energy from his staff. After 1 second, he uses his staff as a hoverboard, draining fireflies per second, and gains a movement speed bonus. When Sigil doesn't hold his staff while activating E, his staff returns to Sigil automatically before jumping on it. Insane project, especially since it was made in 2016, so it's quite old, but it still holds up. And that's it for this one. If you know other cool fan-made champions out there, let me know in the comments, or if you want to make your own, with abilities at least, give it a shot in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.